So the big question is this: how do most agents who struggle to get the information that most successful agents hoard to themselves grow and prosper without this information? That's the big question, and this video cast is the answer. Welcome to Real Estate Rockstars. I'm your host, Pat Hyben. And now for the review of the day. Okay, I got a 5-star review on the podcast here. I got 28 years in real estate and still learning 5 stars. Aloha from Maui, and this is from Tom T. Maui. Aloha from Maui, with 28 years in the real estate industry in 2 unique markets, with over $500 million in sales, and still, every time I listen to one of Pat's podcasts, I learn something. It's such a great opportunity to learn from all of the guests that are on his show. Thanks for making real estate fun and profitable. You rock, Tom T. Thank you, Tommy T. Keep the comments coming, guys. I love them. And remember, I eat feedback for breakfast. So give me a 1-star review if you want, or a 5-star review if you want. I don't care. And the more reviews we get, the better guests we get. So please, subscribe first, and then leave us a review or wherever you're listening. Okay, Rockstar Nation, we have a great guest today coming out of Indianapolis, Indiana. I got Miss Jeannie Grant on the line, and she is turning heads, and she was referred to us by Catherine Scarum, one of our favorite people at here in the Real Estate Rockstars world and the Rebus University world. Huge advocate of Rebus University and the podcast. And in any event, I'm excited to have Jeannie on because Catherine has been turning to Jeannie going, hey, how did you do that? How'd you sell that house? How are you doing these things? Learning from somebody who is very fairly new in the business. And it just goes to show you that many of the things that we can learn as real estate agents don't necessarily have to come from someone who's been in business 40 years. As a matter of fact, sometimes you get tons more value out of somebody who is successful really fast. And that is the case for Jeannie. So without further ado, Jeannie, welcome to Real Estate Rockstars.
Hi, Pat. Thanks for having me. Excited to be on the show.
Hey, Jeannie, why don't you just give everybody a little rundown on who you are so they can get to know you better?
Sure. Okay, so I'm Jeannie Grant. I'm an agent with Century 21 Sheets in Indianapolis, Indiana. I've been licensed for a year and a half now. I moved to Indianapolis about almost 2.5 years ago from Nashville, Tennessee. And when I came here, I had been working in sales and was approved to kind of work remotely with my last company. And then shortly after we moved, my company was acquired by a competitor of ours, and they quickly cleaned house, and I found myself, in a new city without a job. And real estate has been something that I have been really interested in for a long time, but I was a little afraid to make the jump. I had kind of a comfortable gig going and, had salary plus commission, and, I was a little afraid to take that risk. But after I got laid off, I decided, there was never been a more perfect time for me to pursue this, since it's been something I had been interested in for so long. So I was licensed in January of 2017. At the end of January, immediately signed on with Century 21 Sheets, had my first listing within a week, and really just hit the ground running. I think they haven't announced who Rookie of the Year will be, because they do it for a full running 12 months. So they won't make that announcement until January of 2019. But I'm pretty confident I'll probably wind up being our Rookie of the Year. During my first 12 months, I had $85,000 in adjusted gross commission, and my business has just continued to thrive since then. So I had to close 17 deals in my first 12 months in business. But if you're looking at just the last 12 months, it's been 34 closed sales. just over 8 million in sales. And really, I don't have a very big sphere here in Indianapolis, so it's been all about, meeting people, connecting with people, going above and beyond for clients, and, doing everything I can to make them happy, which has really helped me with referrals and good word of mouth.
I love the story, right? I mean, here you're at 34 houses a year, so 3 a month. A second year in the business, in a new town that you were not forced to go to, but that you went to for another job, got laid off. I mean, it's a great story. Like when you got laid off, did you figure in your head, like I got a month or I got 2 weeks, or like a lot of people will give themselves 6 months. I get the feeling like you didn't have that luxury.
Well, so, I mean, when I got laid off, I've always been a saver. So thankfully, I mean, I did get, I did have a severance package or whatever, but, I told my husband, he was very supportive, and he knew that this was something I had talked about for a long time. So he was like, you know what, if you want to try it, go ahead and try it. I think he was a little nervous because, again, we hadn't lived in Indy for very long. I didn't know a ton of people. And so, I think he thought that it was going to be very difficult for me to kind of get my business going. But yeah, once I started, it was just like, I've got to do this. I've got to succeed. So I had to really get out there and, not let the small sphere hold me back.
Okay. So you jumped right in, you had a listing in a week. Like, where'd you get that listing?
So it actually came from my very small sphere. I went to college in Indiana, so there is a small group of people, from college that I still keep in touch with here in Indy. And one of them, her parents were looking to sell their house, and they had always been a big fan of me and knew that I had been in sales for many years, and so they were, they were nice enough to take a risk on me and let me.
Yeah, no kidding, a big time. They must have really loved you as. As a friend of, college friend of their daughters.
Yes.
1 week. How long you been in the business? 6 days.
To be honest, they actually were waiting for me. They knew, they were like, will you hurry up and finish your test, because we would really like to sell our house. So they were fortunate, they were really nice. They do like me, and I do appreciate them. But
you looked out there. So what else?
Listing.
So what about the rest of the business? Like, how did you do so much so fast?
Open houses have been a huge form of success for me, and farming in my neighborhood as well. So as soon as I became licensed, I made it a point to, tell everyone everywhere that I went that I was a licensed agent, introduce myself, hand out business cards, and I tried to meet at least 5 new people every single day. Thankfully, I'm pretty outgoing and make friends easily. So, if I'm waiting in line at Kroger to check out, I'm talking to the person in line with me, and, just making connections. And that was really helpful.
So let me slow this down, right? Because this is important no matter how long you've been in the business. A lot of people do this their first week in the business, but then they stop, right? And it really should be something you should be doing every day. Like, you have a name tag on? Do you have business cards? Like, what's your protocol for meeting 5 people a day? Like, what advice do you have? How does somebody meet and talk about real estate 5 times with somebody?
Well, I think it has to be genuine. So it's like, you can't be like, hovering and like waiting to attack people. So it has to just be like.
Well, genuine. Yeah, that's there's a joke. Like I got, that's a joke now. There's that. There's memes going out there of agents that are like too aggressive and in your face. So how do you make it authentic? Without making it aggressive.
I think it really kind of depends on your personality and like how comfortable you are with talking to strangers. But for me, it's just, I'm just introducing myself. I'm not necessarily looking at them as a potential client, but I'm just looking at them as, someone who lives in Indianapolis, a person that I could meet, maybe somebody who isn't looking for an agent right now, but they might know somebody who is, or maybe they, could be interested in buying or selling in the next 6 months to a year. So it's worth it for me to have a positive interaction and, hand them the card.
Do you think that because you're not from around the area, they put their defenses down, and they're more hospitable? Like if you say, "Oh, I'm not from around here,"
well,
or do you not even volunteer that?
I never lead with I never lead with that I'm not from around here. But no, I mean it's just genuine, conversation. I'm just meeting somebody new, introducing myself. I take interest in, what are they doing? So for example, let's say I'm at Lowe's or Home Depot and whatever. I mean, since we bought our house, we've been doing a lot of home improvement projects. So I find myself going to those kind of stores for, various supplies that we need. Maybe I'm looking at paint swatches or whatever. And as you're looking at stuff, it's, maybe you're asking someone nearby you for their opinion and, you strike up, you're shopping for paint, they're shopping for paint. Suddenly you start talking about, what project you're working on, what are they working on? And, before you know it, you got to wait at the paint counter for the guy to mix up the colors and stuff. And like suddenly, you've had a few minutes to talk to this person and you've connected. And after you've done that, that's when I hand out the card and say like, hey, I don't know what your plans are, but I'm in real estate, and if you know anybody who's thinking about buying or selling, would love to help them. Or if you're thinking of listing your home after you complete this big project, let me know. And that's when I hand out the card.
And how many houses have you sold by doing that?
Just by doing that, probably I think 3. Just meeting strangers and making connections.
Strangers, yeah. Okay, so 3 because that's great, right? Because that's business you didn't have. Okay, so. Sure. So 3 from just meeting strangers. What about the other 31? Where'd those come from?
Okay, let's see. I wrote it all down here. So I have 9 sales in the past 12 months just from open houses. So when I first started in the business, I was very apprehensive about signing up and locking myself into a contract for like lead generation. I was all about, and plus, I hadn't been working for a couple months, so I was all about looking for leads that I could get for free. And so immediately, I started holding open houses for my listings, volunteering to hold open houses for, seasoned agents in my office who, maybe didn't like to do them or maybe they didn't have time. And that has been a big source because not only have I met people who were looking to buy, but a lot of those people came in with homes that they needed to sell as well. And I have been able to establish rapport with them quickly during the time that they've been at the open house, and have, that's led to me going on listing appointments and, giving them an idea of what I think their home could sell for. And then in some cases, maybe they weren't interested in buying the house where we met, but based on their feedback of what they thought of the house, I'm able to present to them a list of homes in the area that, they could be better suited for, and then suddenly I'm taking them out to see those homes. So open houses has been really critical for me, and I still do them. I challenge myself to do at least 3 a month. Some months I'll do them Saturdays and Sundays. I mean, it really just depends on what I have time for and how many buyers I'm working with at the time. But I firmly believe that open houses work as long as you know how to talk to people without making them feel, pressured or uncomfortable. And follow-up is so critical. I think lots of people will meet, buyers at an open house, have great conversations, but then let the lead, go cold and not follow up soon enough. And then suddenly, they've forgotten who you are.
So what's appropriate? Tell me your protocol.
So I don't believe in sign-in sheets. I feel like if you have a sign-in sheet, people often don't fill out all the information, or they don't put correct information. So what I try to do, I carry a clipboard, and I have that. Makes me look very official when people come in and I'm shaking hands and I'm holding my clipboard.
Like a doctor.
Yeah. The first thing I try to do when they come in is just to get their first names. And then I usually ask them, are they familiar with the area? Do they live in the area now? Sometimes they'll volunteer, what neighborhood they live in, or, just give me some info about where they are now, if they're renting, whatnot. So just get a little bit of information from them. Then I send them to, tour the home, really try to give them some space during that. But before I send them off to tour the house, I tell them I don't like to hound people and follow them around room to room, like for them to feel free to take a look. But at the end, I'd just like to talk to them and get a little feedback about what they think about the listing so I can share it with the sellers. And then at that point, I can answer any questions that they have. So I always make sure that the expectation is they're going to look around, but they're not going to be able to just bolt out the door when they're done, like that we're going to have a conversation. So I think that's important because they're expecting after they're done looking that we're going to talk again and I'm going to ask them questions.
And then you're just going to follow up with that. Like, obviously you're going to do a fair trade for their last name and their email and their phone number, which is, how about I get back to you with this? Give me your last name and your, or put your information.
Yeah, well, so if they don't tell me that they love this home and this is it, this is the one they want to make an offer on, I'm asking what did they like about the home, what didn't they like about it? So when they're telling me, what they're looking for, maybe they want a secondary entertaining space, or maybe they need a, more closet space, whatever. I'm telling them like, oh, well, you know what? I actually just showed a house this week that I think could be a really good fit for you. Let me send you some information about it. And if you're interested, we could go see that, later today or tomorrow. You don't have to wait for an open house. And just offering to send them a list of homes that meet the criteria that they're looking for in the price range. A lot of times that right there is enough for them to give me their email address. But I try to get their physical address too, because I believe I'm kind of old school. Like I send handwritten thank you cards just for people who come to the open house. And I think some people have told me like, nobody ever sends handwritten thank yous anymore, like that they appreciated that, I took the time to do that. So I try to do that.
Just constantly, you almost make a game out of it. Like you're constantly, let me get your email, then let me get your home address, let me get your, all that. And the more you get, the better. And the more they give you, the more solid of a lead it is for you, I believe.
Absolutely. Yeah. The more information they're comfortable with giving you, obviously, the more they trust you. And for me, another thing is, as I am getting that information, I am looking at the clipboard. I will say like, oh, okay, and the best number to reach you at is you have a 317 area.
Now you're like a nurse, right? You're like,
yeah. It's like the expectation is that they're giving me the information, so I don't really give them the opportunity to say, oh, well, I don't know if I want to share that. I just, we built this rapport already. I know that they're looking for a home and I'm trying to help them, so why would they not give me the information?
Hey, rock stars, are you worried that your next set of leads will be a total waste of time and money? Or maybe that those missed calls and texts are turning potential clients into missed opportunities? You should be, because these are two huge problems that will absolutely ruin a real estate business's profitability. Fortunately, Rebus CTO Austin Altman and I have come up with a solution, Rebus Complete, and it's got everything you need to maximize conversion, commissions, and profitability. Guys, this is the total package. When you sign up, not only are you getting the best training in the industry, every single course we offer, you're getting high quality exclusive leads and access to the most advanced follow-up systems on the market. I've got Austin on the line now to talk about what Rebus Complete has to offer. Hey, Austin, why don't you start by telling our listeners about the leads we send our members?
Sure. Well, like you said, Pat, these are high quality. They're not just people who are passively interested in real estate. They are people who are actively looking to buy and or sell in our members market right now. Also, every single lead we send is 100% exclusive. We aren't sending the same leads out to hundreds or even thousands of agents like most lead distributors. When an agent gets a lead from our program, it's theirs and theirs alone.
Wow, and these leads are integrated into our automated follow-up system, right?
That's absolutely right. All of our leads are managed by the system's state-of-the-art AI. And what's awesome about that is the fact that it not only makes extremely fast contact with incoming leads, but it can also be configured to book appointments based on agents' availability automatically. It's a foolproof system. No more missed contacts and no more missed opportunities.
Wow, that's kind of cool. Actually, it's quite incredible. Guys, like the experts say, it takes speed to lead to succeed. If you're not able to respond to a lead within 5 minutes, you might as well forget about it.
Yeah, it really is the answer to the follow-up problem that causes agents to lose potential business. And it's not just great for the hot leads we're sending to our members. The system also nurtures leads that aren't ready to take action today. It does everything from emails to text to ringless voicemails, even physical postcards. The system makes sure that whenever a lead is ready to buy or sell a home, our members are the agent that they think about first.
Man, I wish I had that when I was selling real estate. All right, Austin, this is great. Why don't you just tell our listeners how they can get more information on Rebus Complete?
Sure. Either they text Rebus, R-E-B-U-S, to 444-999, or they can go directly to hybendigital.com/Rebus. The page has more information on the program. In fact, it's got a video really going into a little bit of detail about what the program has to offer. And it also includes a form that agents can complete to book a complimentary discovery call. Oh, and if you're interested in becoming a Rebus Complete member, you're going to want to act fast. Before I forget, I wanted to mention that we assign slots on a zip code basis so that we can ensure that leads are exclusive. Unfortunately, that means once a slot for a zip code is full, we're not able to take on any new members in that area.
Guys, you don't want to miss out on this. Pause the podcast and go to hybendigital.com/Rebus. That's hybendigital.com/REBUS, or simply text REBUS, Rebus, to 444-999. That's Rebus to 444-999. Hey, and if you're enrolled in any Rebus course, don't forget to mention that during your complimentary call, what we're going to do for current customers is waive the entire membership setup fee. This is a game changer, guys, and I guarantee that you're going to regret it if you miss your chance to join. Pause the podcast and go to hybendigital.com/Rebus, or just text the word Rebus, REBUS, to 444-999. That's Rebus to 444-999 now. Okay, so that's awesome. So what about the other 2/3 of your business? Because a third of that's coming from open houses, and so you still got 20 some houses. Where's that coming from? I mean, because
so I have had 8 referrals from past clients, which that's, I think, kind of crazy considering, I've only been in the business for a year and a half, and so
that's odd. So why is that? Because that is definitely not normal.
So I always tell people that look at closing, like, hey, this isn't it. Like, this isn't the end for us. Like, I'm not your realtor just until closing day. Like, this is it. Like, I'm your realtor for life. Like, I'm not going anywhere. Like, we're going to stay in touch. So people kind of, laugh when I say that. But then, as I continue to keep in touch with them, they're like, oh, she's really not kidding. Like, we really are still maintaining contact. So, I do a lot of things for my past clients and for my sphere throughout the year. I do pop buys for holidays. People who have kids, I try to do a lot of things that are special for the kids because, one, I love kids. I'm very, family-centered, and I think a lot of people appreciate that. But I think kids just really get excited about it, and then parents are happy that you're taking the time to interact with the children as well. So like, for example,
specifically, give me some examples.
So like, one of the things that I did for Easter, it didn't really cost me very much money, but I printed off these flyers that said, you've been egged. There are 12 eggs hidden in your yard, and I had, little fluorescent colored Easter eggs that had candy inside them hidden in their yard. So yes, I went to their front and side yards and hid these Easter eggs and left a little sign on the door that says that they've been egged. And then at the bottom it said, if you know someone who's hunting for a new home, please let me know, and had my information on it. I can't tell you how many people posted that on Facebook, took videos and sent me videos of their kids like getting out of the car and then like running through the yard to find the Easter eggs. So little things like that, have really helped because people share it on social media and then other people see it and it becomes oh, hey, wow, boy, their realtor looks like they
That's a
really
pearl right there, guys. I mean, anybody listening should be doing that to all of their clients with kids.
Yeah.
I mean, you should spend 3 days straight before and after Easter just egging people's yards. That should be the only thing you do, right? I mean, you kind of want it to be you in a sense. I guess you could have other people do it for you on a wide scale, but
well, I did them all myself. I did it myself because if the people were home, I wanted to give a quick explanation as
right.
to
You don't want a stranger walking around the yard. I like it that it was you. I like it a lot that it was you because of that. Because you're knocking on the door first and they know you, so they get, otherwise a stranger walking through the yard is kind of odd. So
yeah, absolutely. So I did that. For Halloween, it was they came home and they had a little Halloween bucket hanging on the door filled with candy for the kids and pumpkin carving kit inside there. And I mean, I always try to come up with like a catchy little marketing slogan that ties into real estate. But yeah, I mean, just things like that. People really have liked it. They have continued to share it on social media. And then from them sharing it, inevitably it leads to a friend of theirs or, family member of theirs seeing it and knowing that they have had a really positive experience with me as their realtor. And then that has in turn led to referrals. In fact, I have one client. It's been about a year since I closed on their home. They have sent me 3 referrals. Just in the past year. So 3 different family members. So I mean, I really value them.
Yeah. What are you doing for them?
I didn't catch that.
Are you doing anything special for them? I mean, how do you it's great when you get one referral because it's kind of, you can follow a system, right? You can thank you note or whatever.
I send them. I send them thank you notes, and they like to go to the movies. So I'll go to Costco and get those little. You can get a family 4-pack of movie tickets, and I send them things like that. Just thanking them, for continuing to support my business. Yeah, they've been amazing.
Yeah, and that's great that you know what they like, right? Mm-hmm. So you're not sending them something that they're not going to use.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, what do you think of this? So our flagship question has to do with how would you do it again? And it's clear that you've done it, amazingly fast, right? I mean, you got 8 past client referrals and you barely had 8 past clients, 9 open house sales, right? And,
yep.
Good. I mean, that's like you're basically consistent, 30 some percent of your business. So let's say that I took you and I put you with 9 other real estate agents on a desert island.
Okay.
And it's not a desert island. It's an island, and there's a lot of commerce, and there's a lot of houses and people buying and selling. And I gave each real estate agent $1,000, a laptop, computer, and a cell phone. And I told them all, I said, listen, the only thing you guys have in common is that no one. And I want to have a race, and I'm going to give you 6 months. Whoever sells the most houses in a 6-month period wins a race and gets $1 million. Like, how is Jeannie going to win this race?
So I would invest money in things that I can physically bring to people's houses. I feel like I have tried to do postcards and do mailers, and I don't get anything from it. But when I am in front of people and when I see people, I seem to do better with that. So I would spend it on things that I can do with farming. I believe, like, if you're farming, you need to be bringing people something that is useful to them. So whether that's me printing off maybe like a quick CMA report for their neighborhood, and then including something additional of value to them inside maybe like a clear newspaper bag. I recently have decided to expand my farm a little bit, and I just recently bought like 240 bags of popcorn at Costco. I mean, it doesn't cost very much. It's like $10 for 44 bags of popcorn at Costco. Printed off some labels that talked about, the market's popping. If you're thinking of selling, give me a call. And then included a little letter about, my sales history in the area, quick, CMA report that I printed off from our MLS. And I'll go and I'll knock on a door. And if they answer the door, I explain to them what's inside the bag and talk to them a little bit about who I am. If they don't answer the door, I just hang it on the doorknob and I keep going. And I get a lot of responses from.
And this is a neighborhood that you've picked out that you're considering your farm?
Okay, so I initially started with farming in my own neighborhood. And I started doing exactly what I was just saying in my neighborhood as soon as I was licensed. And I have sold 5 homes in my neighborhood since I did that, which has been great because I've gotten to meet a lot of neighbors. And the price point in my neighborhood is like between $275 to $320. So it's really a good price point for me.
How many houses are in your neighborhood, would you say?
There's 130.
Okay, so it's not that big of a neighborhood. You sold 5 houses. Like, how many houses sold in the past 12 months in your neighborhood?
9.
9?
Yep.
Wow. All right. So this we're going off the question, but I'm glad. I mean, this is a good conversation. So I get it. To answer the question to win the race, you would just work really hard. You'd door knock. You'd become a neighborhood expert, and you'd start marketing.
I'd spend the money and I'd pound the pavement. That's what I would
pound the pavement. Okay. So now back to this farming piece, right? So 9 houses. So clearly there was an agent, right, that thought that they had this neighborhood on lockdown before you got your license, right?
Well, it was really a mixed bag. That's one of the things that I noticed. There wasn't one specific realtor that was getting all the listings in the neighborhood. It was like nobody had any loyalty to anybody. So I don't know. I've just tried to make it that if anyone in my neighborhood is considering selling, that hopefully I'll be the very first person they think of because they see all my signs, scattered around the neighborhood.
Would you say that of the 130 households, how many of them know who you are?
I would say at this point, probably all of them, because
all of them after a year and a half. So like, how often are you door knocking these same 130 houses?
So I don't door knock every time I pass things out, because initially I door knocked the whole neighborhood when I first got licensed because I wanted to introduce myself. So I think the first time I door knocked in my neighborhood, it was March of 2017. I got my first listing in the neighborhood in November of 2017. So I was kind of surprised, but when they emailed me, they said, "Oh, well, we met you in the spring. You came by with some Easter candy. We're thinking about selling our house. Like, can you come over?" And that's when I finally was like, "Oh yes, victory! Finally, after knocking on doors and passing things out, people are starting."
Finally, but it only been 3 or 4 months, right?
Yes, it hadn't been a few months, but of course, as a new agent, I was hoping it would be instantaneous.
Yeah, right. That's how most agents think, right?
Right.
I mean, for most people, it's going to take years. I mean, this is great. Sure. And I think this is what Catherine was talking about by saying, how did you do this, right? Right. So how did, this is great. So, well, tell me more. Like, what do you do? Like, what are you saying? Is it just your presence? Like, how often? Give me as many specifics as you can.
Okay, so usually if I knock on the door and somebody answers, I just want to share good news with them. So I'm like, "Oh, I'm really excited to tell you I just sold my last listing around the corner. We just set a new record." I've been fortunate that I have set a couple records for highest price per square foot in the neighborhood. So anytime I have good news to share, I'm happy to share it and let them know, like, home values in the neighborhood are really going up. I still have, buyers that are, looking in the neighborhood right now, specifically, maybe I have someone that's looking for a ranch. If they live in a ranch, I'm asking them, have they given any thought to selling, or do they know any neighbors who live in a ranch who might be interested in selling? So I'm having those kind of conversations when they answer. But if they don't answer, I still leave them something. I bought a bulk load of clear newspaper bags, and I put stuff inside of them, and I literally just hang it on the doorknob. So I know that, I'm always walking through the neighborhood. I walk my dog, 2-3 times a day. So I see, I hung something there. Then, I walk by later in the day. Well, it's not hanging there anymore. So I know that they got it. So I think just being consistent and making those contacts, whether it's in person or not, has really helped, because people come up to me now, I'll be at the community pool, just maybe reading a book or something on my day off, and people will come up to me and be like, oh, hey, I've got some questions for you. And so I think, it has really paid off, because people know who I am, and there's 130 homes. So, I mean, it's not necessarily where you would expect everyone to know who you are in a neighborhood of that size, but when you're consistent and you and you continue to get in front of them somehow, whether it's in person or whether it's through a pop by or whether through it's a just sold postcard, they see your face, they see your name, and if they see it often enough, they start to recognize it with, this is a very popular realtor in this neighborhood.
I want you to think about the word toolbox. What is a toolbox? A toolbox is a box full of tools that you use to build something great. At Real Estate Rockstars, we've created our own free toolbox. So everybody that comes on the show as a guest brings a tool with them, and we plow them all into this toolbox, and we give it away for our viewing audience to basically use as they wish. Everything we put in there is an actionable item that can be downloaded, can be printed, can be used immediately. And we got things like scripts and dialogues, checklists for teams, checklists to keep agents accountable, referral forms that are filled out at settlement to get referrals by your buyers and sellers. Everything you can think of that you could use on a regular basis about real estate is included in this toolbox, and it's helping agents worldwide sell more houses and make their jobs a lot easier and processes much more efficient. And the thing is, it's absolutely free. All you got to do is go to hibandigital.com/toolbox or text the word toolbox to 444-999. That's toolbox 444-999. Do it now. And and a lot of times you're just printing out like CMAs or, just sold MLS cards on an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper and sticking it in.
Well, and I also like to give people stuff that I think that their kids will like. So again, going back to kids, the neighborhood that I live in is a very family-friendly neighborhood. We've got a lot of kids that live there. So, like for example, for Valentine's Day, I passed out a big box of the Sweet Tart conversation hearts, and the little flyer that I had with it talked about, let's have a heart-to-heart if you're considering, selling. And of course, kids love candy, so then it was like a win-win because the kids got the candy. For 4th of July, I bought a ton of sparklers, probably $160 worth of sparklers. Every family got a pack of 3 of sparklers, and all I said was, wishing you and your family a sparkling 4th of July. And then I had some information in there about just setting a new record with my most recent sale. So, I mean, things that I know are going to be well received, because the contents that are in the bag are not necessarily just about information. There are things in there that I think the kids will like too.
Yeah, I'm picking a lot of stuff up here. So, guys, what you need to listen is, number one, and I've talked about this a lot. I wrote a whole chapter in my book, 6 Steps to 7 Figures, on this, chapter 5, build on a success up, not from the ground up, right? She's building on a success up. The first listing she got, she just ran with it, double down, double down, double down. And she's distinguishing herself as, what makes me different is highest per square foot price, which isn't hard to do in an ascending market, right? I'm not taking away anything from Jeannie, but a lot of you guys listening have that ability. All you need is the most recent sale, or your company to have the most recent sale, and distinguish yourself somehow as to why you're better. And setting a goal. This is what I love the most. Setting a goal. Like, everybody listening should set a goal of 100 houses or 150 houses or 200 houses where everybody knows you. That's how much you're in their face, is that you're in their face so much that they have to know you. And if you don't know where to go where you live. That's the easiest, because then you can double down even more, building on a success up, meaning a success up might be they see her anyways because she walks the dog 3 times a day. So she can build on that by showing up and knocking on the door and say, you've probably seen me. I'm the one that walks this, black lab everywhere, which I've seen other agents do, right? Describe your dog and say, you've probably seen me. Oh, yeah, I have seen you walking that dog. Beautiful dog or whatever. So I love this. This is really good. And so now, are you going to try to expand this to 260, or are you going to just keep doubling down on the 130 until you get all 9 listings instead of only 5 out of 9?
Well, I'm definitely not going to change anything that I've been doing in my neighborhood, and I'm excited because I have decided to kind of expand it a little bit. So right now I'm in the works of doing in September. I'm going to be sponsoring a movie night, and I found somebody who has a projector and an inflatable screen, and we're going to put that up near our community pool / playground area. So I'm going to be inviting everyone in the neighborhood to come out and watch a family-friendly movie. Bring their chairs, bring their blankets, and I'm ordering pizza for the neighborhood. And so it's going to be fun. I mean, it's just going to be another event where I'm going to get to know more neighbors, and I think just there's nothing but positive things that come out with interactions within my neighborhood. And so it's going so well that I'm not going to change anything in mine, but I'm starting to expand into other neighborhoods that are near mine that are similar in size, similar in price point. And so I'm starting to do some farming there. I actually just had some door hangers made, and that's actually what I have sent for your toolbox. Is a template of the door hanger that I'm sending out right now, and I'm ordering 3,000 door hangers. 3,000 door hangers. That's a lot of door hangers, but
You're not kidding.
I found a website.
A lot more than 130. So
Yeah.
you're gonna expand your farm, obviously.
I'm gonna expand the farm for sure. I don't think that I don't plan to start farming all 3,000 of those homes as hard as I have been my neighborhood. But yes, I am going to expand. So
and a door hanger is just something that says something on it that it's cardboard that fits around the door, right?
That's right. Yep, it's a double-sided door hanger. I had our marketing department here at my brokerage design it for me. It's specific to, I live on the south side of Indianapolis, and our township is called Franklin Township. And so my goal has been to make that township my niche. And I've sold 21 homes in the township in the past 12 months. So the majority of my sales are in Franklin Township. So I am, marketing myself as your local real estate expert. I'm your neighbor. I know Franklin Township. No one sells Franklin Township like a neighbor does. So that's what the door hanger, kind of advertises and talks a little bit about my area expertise. So I'm starting to take those out to some new neighborhoods, and I've got, I try to do stuff around holidays, and because that's usually when you can interact with families more, and leave things that I think kind of mean more and get attention. But I'm expanding the farm. Okay.
Beautiful. Well, this is great, Jeannie. I appreciate you leading right into that. And so I'm going to put this, guys, on hybendigital.com / Jeannie Grant. It's Jeanni, Jeanni, Grant.
It's Jeannie.
Yep, I'm looking right at that. Jeannie, Grant. hybendigital.com / Jeannie Grant. Also, it will be, her door hanger, that is, will be in the Agent Success Toolbox, which can be found on hibandigital.com/toolbox, or texting the word toolbox to 444-999. Jeannie, this has been great. I really appreciate you jumping on the show today. I wish you the best of luck in Indianapolis. All of Jeannie's information will be in the show notes, as well as everything that we talked about today. And Jeannie, hey, if I'm ever in Indianapolis, I will look you up and we will get together and break some bread.
I would love that. If you ever make it around Memorial Weekend, let's go to the Indy 500 and you can see what we do best here in Indy.
Oh boy. You got it. You got it. Thanks, Jeannie. I appreciate you taking the time.
Thanks so much, Pat.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Real Estate Rockstars. If this free content is giving you a ton of value, I want to ask a small favor in return. I need you to pull out your pointing finger and hit the subscribe button. Yes, hit subscribe, please. The more subscribers that we get on Real Estate Rockstars, the better guests are attracted to the shows. We'll get more guests from the top companies, from the top teams, and even more celebrity guests like Robert Kiyosaki and Barbara Corcoran. Also, if you're not a member of our free Facebook group, go to Real Estate Rockstars Radio right on Facebook and join the conversation. I'm on there myself on FaceTime Lives, and we have a lot of communications and questions about the show, and I'd love to see you there. And it's free. People ask me all the time, where am I on social media? I'm real easy to find. Just type in my name. My IG is I am Pat Hyben. It is blowing up on Instagram, adding tons of subscribers, and I'm on there probably twice a day. So definitely follow me on Instagram, as well as everywhere else. Thanks again for listening, and keep rocking.